Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am going to do my first ever anti-haul. Now this was started by the vivacious and wonderful YouTuber by the name of Kimberly Clark, who is just larger than life and amazing in every way. And I remember seeing her first anti-haul and being like, oh my god, this girl is on to something. I love every single freaking second of this, and I was blown away. I thought it was such a creative anti-consumerism idea, and just to kindly call out the elephant in the room that we've all been feeling is that the beauty industry is really trying to take us for a bunch of dummies these days. And Kimberly Clark was like, you know what, let's call it out. And you know what, a lot of people have been doing it. I like watching them, so I wanted to do my own. So whenever Kimberly Clark starts off her anti-haul, she has like a whole song. And I feel like that's like my thing, is to sing, but I don't want to steal Kimberly Clark's song. So what would our anti-haul song be? Kimberly Clark always goes, what I'm not gonna buy. So what should we do? We should do what I'm not gonna buy, part 1. This is not meant to be a negative video, but at the same time, it's also meant to be like funny. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look at my handy dandy phone and let you guys know the stuff I'm not gonna buy. By the way, a lot of the pictures I'm using are from Sephora.com or from Trend Nude's Instagram, who I will link below, as well as with Kimberly Clark. First thing I want to talk about is the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. It looks like this, and it is beautiful. I would buy it. It looks absolutely stunning. I've heard amazing things about Natasha Denona palettes. This very pretty, very stunning palette is $129. Beautiful, but I ain't got $129 to spend on an eyeshadow palette. And everybody breaks it down like, well, the eyeshadows are huge and you're getting so many and the cost per gram and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, you know what? That sounds great, but I have so many eyeshadow palettes that I am nowhere near close to panning. I do not need a ginormous $129 eyeshadow. I get it. The pans are huge. They're beautiful. It's $129. And maybe one day if I was some big giant influencer, I'd be like, oh, yes. But as a relatively normal, and well, I am not normal. There's nothing normal about me in terms of weird scale, but as just your regular basic Betty who goes to work every day, I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed, there ain't nothing in this world for free. Next is this Kylie holiday collection. You guys can see it comes with the eyeshadow palettes, her liquid lipsticks, a highlighter palette. It looks like this. And they look pretty, I will say. And I am not against buying these because it's Kylie Jenner. Her family got famous from a sex tape. Everybody wants them to drop off the face of the earth, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care that it's Kylie Jenner. If your family found a way to fame and you guys have still been on top of the fame game for like, what, 12 years now? More power to you. Start a makeup line. I would. If my sister released a sex tape and I was famous, I would be thanking her right now. Thank you. Thank you for making a sex tape. Today's my sister's birthday, so maybe she should release one. Anyway, the reason I'm not gonna buy the Kylie holiday kits and all that kind of stuff is I can't even recall a time I've heard a super positive review about Kylie's stuff. I mean, everybody goes crazy about the lip kits, but they're made in the same warehouse as ColourPop, and I've heard they're the same exact thing. And I just feel like I loved that peach palette that she came out with. I was like, I think I'm gonna take the plunge and I think I'm gonna buy a Kylie Jenner palette. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna support Kylie Jenner. And then I just heard that it smelled bad, it was terrible. All the influencers that I trust, smaller YouTubers, were like, this is horrible. And I've never heard the influencers I trust recommend a Kylie product. I have heard them say no. So I don't really want to shell out the coin for stuff that people that I trust usually don't enjoy. Next is this NARS Narcissist palette. It looks like this. Beautiful, it's warm. It looks stunning, but I'm gonna be super honest, I am never drawn to NARS palettes. I used to back in the day, but every time I swatch them, they are such trash. And they're relatively expensive. I'm not sure how much this one is, but no. I think that NARS is a sleek and chic and great brand, but I also think they're just falling behind a little bit in like another warm palette NARS. Like, you're kind of behind on the times. It's pretty, but it's nothing I don't have in my Naked Heat and my Modern Renaissance. And I know it's probably gonna be like 60 or 70 bucks, because that's how much usually these NARS palettes are. And I always find the dark shades to be super chalky, and there'll always be like 1 or 2 like really out of the park shades, but if I'm gonna spend that much money for how many? It's 4 by 3, so 12 shades? No. The next thing that is being released are these Smashbox, what are these? Smashbox Photo Edit Eyeshadow Trios, and they look like this. I like Smashbox. I like their formula. And does everybody remember Smashbox used to have trios and they discontinued them, and I haven't seen them for a while. Now they're gonna be like, oh, we're releasing these new trios. And it's like, Smashbox, you used to have these back in the day. They were just a different shape. So they're $22 a piece for 3 eyeshadows. And it's just, nothing here is something I don't have. There's like a warm trio, a cool trio, a matte trio, a neutral trio. It's just nothing that I'm like excited about. So for $22, I could get almost another eyeshadow palette with 12 to 15 shades in it. It's just sloppy. I just feel like they're re-releasing old things they had and marketing it as new, and it's just boring to me. It's just something that's like kind of repetitive. Like, I don't want a trio. Trios were cool when I wanted like the Shimmering Sands palette from CoverGirl for $3 in the drugstore back in the day, but a Smashbox trio. Next is by Pat McGrath, and it is the Skin Fetish Highlighter. See, $72. I cannot get down with Pat McGrath products. First of all, I think that the packaging of the goddamn highlighters is so boring. It's so cheap, and everyone's like, oh, you get this brush. It looks like something that comes with like an e.l.f. set. And this dual-ended balm and highlighter, I just think it's such a crock. I do not want to spend $72 for a highlighter. I could get, what, 2 glow kits with amazing formulated highlighters for that price. I don't care that you have sequins that's gonna explode everywhere. In fact, that's just annoying to me. And I get it, Pat McGrath is a brand, a high-end brand who released, and I respect it, the brand for that. They wanna be expensive, they think their products are worth that, and they probably are amazing products. I just don't have the mental capacity to spend that on a highlighter. And same thing for the Pat McGrath. Eyeshadow palettes, like, they look really beautiful, but they're $125. And the last thing I need is a, what, 10 pan, $125 eyeshadow palette? I don't need it. Next is the Becca Lightwaves Highlighter Palette, and it looks like this. It contains Moonstone, in the middle a new one called Pink Sapphire, and their Amethyst shade. I'm happy that it contains Moonstone and not Opal, and that's what draws me to it a teeny tiny bit, because Opal is too dark for me. They put it in every single palette. But I'm starting to feel so bored with Becca's releases. They look the same. It's like 3 across. There's like a coppery gold one, a coppery, a gold one, and then like a white or amethyst one. Sad, I'm bored. I want Becca to like release these really awesome things, and it's great that they cater to different skin tones being darker, but it'd be cool if they came out with like 2, one for lighter skin and one for darker skin, as opposed to putting together 3 shades, one that would only look good on a deeper skinned girl, one that would only look good on a medium skinned girl, and one that would only look good on a light skinned girl. It's like, or guy, I don't discriminate, but it's like, come out with 2 or 3 different palettes. I don't want to buy a palette that I can only use one color, and the other one I'm like, I'll use it as a bronzer topper or a blush topper because it's copper, and I'm never gonna do it. Next is something I'm really torn about, and it is the Tarte Toasted palette. Part of me feels like I need this to complete my collection because I have the Tartelette and the Tartelette in Bloom. However, a lot of the shadows in those eyeshadow palettes are so hit or miss for me. They're either too chunky and chalky, or they're smooth, or I just don't know. It's so hit or miss, and it's another warm eyeshadow palette. Nothing about it. I love warm eyeshadow palettes, and I'm probably still gonna keep buying them, but it's just another one where I really feel like Tarte was a little behind the ball. Like, this should have come out 6 or 7 months ago. Right now it's kind of like, oh, I've already bought up every warm palette in sight. What do you want me to do? Get another one? Next is also something I'm kind of torn about, and I don't know why I'm torn about it. Why, Megan? Why? but it is the Too Faced Holiday 2017 collection. Now take a look at that. These are all starting to run together, and I'm gonna show you something. The reason I only kind of want it is to complete my collection. I have the past 4 Christmas in New York and Too Faced Holiday Shadows only because I'm psycho. Too Faced released the first one. It was a few of my favorite things and I loved it. It looks like this. This is what it looks like. And the pop of color in it is always this like muted toned purple and a green. That is always their pop of color in. They all look the same. And it's always like a cool toned and chocolate soleil. It's always, every single one is the same. I did it again, right next to each other. The pops of color are purple and green. Then we got this one. And the pops of color in it are purple and green, right next to each other. Then we got our next one. And the pops are purple and greenish blue, right next to each other. They did their limited edition Stardust palette. When they didn't do green, the pop of color was purple. Pops of color right there are purple and freaking green. It's hurting my brain, it's hurting my head, it's making me mad. Why is it always purple and green? I just don't get it. Next is this Lustrous Blush Palette by Makeup Forever, and it looks stunning. It looks stunning. I want you in my collection. Just look at it. It's so stunning. What? What? $150 for a blush palette. Guys, a blush is a blush. It's a pink powder. I like the Tarte Amazonian clay blushes. I like the Too Faced heart one, Sweethearts or whatever. But a blush is a freaking blush. Milani blushes, amazing. Okay? NYX blushes, amazing. Right? Even dark black radiance blushes, great. The last thing I need is more blushes, let alone a palette of $150 of blush. Who do these companies think they are? It is not something I need. You don't need it either. We just anti-hauled. We don't need all that stuff for all that money in our collections, that's for sure. Guys, that is my first anti-haul. I hope you enjoyed this video and it wasn't too negative. I hope we had fun here. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic night, guys. Bye!